Hello exiles, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to dive into the world of currency and crafting in Path of Exile 2. We'll explore how to improve our crafting chances and create powerful items for our characters. We're going to start with the basic stuff and we will slowly progress to more advanced things later into the video. Now, going into the basics, first things first, let's talk about bonuses. In order to have a better understanding on how they work, the bonuses in Path of Exile 2 are called affixes or modifiers, and each item can have a maximum of 6 affixes. These affixes are divided in 3 suffixes and 3 prefixes. If you hold Alt on your keyboard while hovering on an item, you can see if a modifier is either a prefix or a suffix. A general rule is that prefixes are on top and suffixes are at the bottom. Also, the items in Path of Exile 2 can have 2 more bonuses to them. The enchants, which are light blue colored, like I have on my sapphire jewel here, and the implicit bonuses like I have on my rings. The chaos resistance on top of all of the modifiers is an implicit affix, which means that the item already has the modifier when you find it as a drop. Next, let's talk about the different types of rarities that we can find in the game at the moment. Path of Exile 2 currently features 4 item rarities. First we have white or normal items. One thing to keep in mind is that most of these are called bases. So when you hear someone saying, I just got a good base to craft, they probably mean that they got a good normal white item with a high level on it on which they can start crafting. Next we have magic or blue items. Magic items typically have 2 modifiers which include 1 prefix and 1 suffix. These are great for early crafting experiments or creating specific items for niche builds. After that we have gold or rare items. These items generally have at least 3 affixes and they can go up to 6. Here is what we want to get our gear at. We want to have as many affixes on our character as possible. The last rarity that we have on the list here are the uniques, which have this orange color. Unique items come with special modifiers that can be build changing for some characters. For example, my Headhunter Heavy Belt lets me steal rare monster modifiers for 20 seconds after defeating them, which is perfect for endgame map clearing and farming strategies. Now, let's break down the currency items and their best uses in the game. We're going to follow the order of the currency tab for clarity. First we have the Orb of Transmutation. This currency upgrades a normal item into a magic one, adding 1 modifier. It's a simple but effective tool for creating starter gear with specific bonuses. After that we have the Orb of Augmentation. This orb adds a second affix to a magic item. You can pair this with the Orb of Transmutation for early game crafting versatility. These 2 orbs are invaluable early game, so use them freely during the campaign to boost your gear. Third currency in our tab here is the Orb of Alchemy. This currency converts a normal item into a rare item with 4 modifiers. The Orb of Alchemy is a cornerstone when it comes to crafting, especially when upgrading white maps into rare ones for better rewards. Later into the video, I'm going to show you how we can use these Orbs of Alchemy in order to boost our maps and to get better rewards out of them. Moving forward, we have the Regal Orbs. This orb upgrades a magic item to a rare one, adding a new modifier to that item. Chaos Orbs will remove a random modifier from your item and it will add a new random one. Next we have the Val Orbs. This currency corrupts an item, locking it from further modification and adding an unpredictable effect. It can sometimes improve an implicit modifier, but it's a gamble. Useful tip that I got here: before using a Val Orb, add all the rune sockets to that item and increase the item quality in order to maximize the outcome. This way you get the most out of your corruption attempts. Next we have the Exalted Orbs. These are the most used orbs in my opinion because they let you add a new modifier to a rare item. As you progress through the game, you're going to find more and more rare items that will not have 6 modifiers on them. And in order to get all the modifiers to that item, you will have to use 1 Exalted or more Exalted Orbs. Moving on, we have the Divine Orbs. This currency rerolls all the numerical values of affixes. Use these to improve near perfect items or optimize critical modifiers for your build. Otherwise, I do not recommend to use Divine Orbs on ordinary items since it is the main currency for trading at the moment. The Orb of Annulment removes a random affix from an item. It is excellent for precise crafting, particularly when you want to clear unwanted modifiers. Second to last currency in our stash here is the Orb of Chance. This orb has a small chance to upgrade a normal item into a unique one. It's most effective when used on base types that correspond to specific valuable uniques. For example, a white heavy belt can become a Headhunter and a stellar amulet can become Astra Mantis if you're lucky. And the last piece of currency here is Mirror of Calandra. This is the rarest and most expensive currency. It duplicates an item, but it is so rare that many players never see one. If you do find one, congratulations, it is a game-changing moment. Up next we have the essences. Here we are entering a more controlled environment that is less based on RNG, sort of. Essences are crucial when we are trying to craft a good item, since it gives us a better chance to obtain a specific modifier on our item. The small essences will turn a normal item into a magic one with a modifier from a specific group, and the greater essences will turn a magic item into a rare one with a modifier from a specific group. In this portion of the video, I'd like to showcase a tool that I've discovered recently, which will let us see all of the prefixes and suffixes that can roll on a certain item. The website is called Path of Exile 2. I will leave a link to the website in the description down below. Going into the website, let's say that I want to start crafting a breach ring. I will simply search the item on the website, and here I can see a list of all of the prefixes and suffixes that we can obtain. Also, you might wonder why most of the modifiers have labels like elemental, chaos or damage right next to their name. This is for us to identify the category in which we can find the desired modifier. As an example, let's say that I want to pick mana on the breach ring. If we pick mana with the option to craft the item with exalted orbs, we can see that in average it will take me 39 tries until I hit that mana roll. But with essences, we can decrease that value a lot. At the moment, we do not have the option to select essences on the website, but we can select the category of the modifier. In this case, let's select mana and see how many modifiers are in that category. As you can see, there are 5 modifiers with the mana label on them. This means that we have 1 in 5 chances to obtain the mana roll that we want using the essences. Let's try that in game as well. Here I have 5 essences of mind and 5 breach rings. Let's see how many mana modifiers we will get. And as you can see, we got 1 maximum mana modifier, which is a little bit on the low side, but is still good. Before we are jumping to more deterministic crafting, I'd like to quickly add another way that you can get some strong effects on your amulet. Going to the Delirium Stash tab, we can see that we have several distilled emotions here. We can use any of the 3 emotions in order to make a combination to our amulet and set a permanent effect on it. I will leave a link in the description down below with all of the combination and the bonus effects of the distilled emotions. Let's go to the last section of the video, deterministic crafting. At the moment, we have 2 ways to perform deterministic crafting. One that is really expensive and the other one that is a lot cheaper. Starting with the cheaper method, which revolves around expedition, we need to go to one of the expedition NPCs and find an item that we like. For the video purposes, let's take this bow as an example. At the moment, it has only cold damage, but after we bought it, we can see that we have the option to add a modifier and make it rare. Let's try that. We have another option here to remove all prefix modifiers. I don't really want that, so I'm going to skip it. As you can see, we have a couple of more options here and a little bit more control when it comes to the modifiers of the item. Using this method, you can either directly craft an item inside the expedition tab or create a good base to start your craft. Now, the other deterministic crafting method is using omens. Keep in mind that this one is quite expensive at the moment and it's going to be out of reach for most of us, but it's still good to know about omens and what they can do in the game. Going to Alpha on the omens section, we can see that we have plenty of them. All of them do different things, however, the ones that will help us the most in terms of crafting are on the lower side of the tab. First, we have Omen of Exaltation. This guarantees adding a prefix or a suffix with an exalted orb. After that, we have the Omen of Greater Annulment. This removes 2 modifiers using an Orb of Annulment. Going next, we have the Omen of Whittling, which lets you remove the lowest level modifier using a Chaos Orb. Now, keep in mind that these omens can be used in the same time. I'm saying this because the next 2 omens, Omen of Sinistral Erasure and Omen of Dextral Erasure, lets us pick if either a suffix or a prefix will be removed by the Chaos Orb. Now, you can see how we can use, for example, Omen of Whittling with any of the Erasure omens in order to have more control on what is removed from our item. The last 2 omens here that we are interested about are Omen of Sinistral and Dextral Annulment, which lets us pick if either a suffix or a prefix will be removed by the Orb of Annulment, depending on which omen we are using. I highly recommend you guys to also have a look on all of the currency tabs as well as the currency exchange and get familiar with the different items that we have in the game at the moment. Remember that I said earlier that I'm going to show you how I juice up my maps. For this, we need a white high tier map. Go to the currency exchange NPC and get an Omen of Sinistral Alchemy. Put it in your inventory and activate it. Now use an Orb of Alchemy to add 4 modifiers to your map. The Omen of Sinistral Alchemy will allow us to only add prefixes to our map. Basically, when we are doing maps, we only want prefixes in our maps since those are the good bonuses. The suffixes are either debuffs for us or increased bonuses for the mobs. And there you have it, guys. I really hope that you found at least one useful thing in the video, and I do hope that I was able to explain how the crafting works in the game. I tried to keep it as short as possible while at the same time include as much information as I could. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment down below with your favorite crafting tip. See you guys next time.